What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for stopping by the channel. And you guys, I just want to say thank you again just for the support of the book and support of the blessing bags. You guys, thank you so much. We're able to do so much with just what you guys have helped us with. And if you're not able to help us monetarily, guys, keep us in your prayers. Thank you so much. I'll put the link down below. And with the book, you guys, thank you so much. I'm kind of interested. I would like to kind of find out, like, those of you who read it, which characters did you identify with, male and female? Who did you identify with? I think that would be interesting to know. Also, I wanted to say that, just in the times that we're living in right now, I will not be able to sign your books. I mean, it would be ideal if I could travel and come to you and, we do like a little meetup and I sign your books and stuff. But with where we are right now, that's not, we can't do that. And if you email me and ask me for an address, with security measures, it's a lot of sick and crazy people in the world. There's not an address that I'm willing to give, right? So I think, with that being said, to go out of your way to go digging for an address and demanding that I sign your books, I think that's a little intrusive. And I think pretty much most people can understand, male and female, that when it comes to giving out addresses and stuff in this time, especially over the internet with people you don't know, I think everyone pretty much understands that that's just not acceptable. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I want to thank you all for your support. So let's get started. This is part 2 of the video with the ley lines, the DNA, music, and everything. And I wanted to wrap it up with this and make some connections. All right. So let's go. So here we established in one of my previous videos with the ley lines and the nervous system, being the nervous system. And then with the previous video that, they have these different megalithic structures that's on these different ley lines, on these energy sources, these power lines, right? And let's look at Giza for a second. So, when you see the pyramid at the top, the very top. All right, so let's look at that, the internal chamber. So remember, they take their gods and throw them on the constellations. And we know with Orion that also the hunter represented, Nimrod, right? Because he was a hunter. So they threw, Egyptians threw his name on that. And then you have over here, Draco, remember the serpent, Alpha Draconis. So a lot of these structures are aligned with Orion's belt, and Sirius, and with Draco, the serpent, right? All right, so we talked about Draco a lot and him possessing the center, that gate, right? And how the Most High said that he would not possess it, and that Abraham's seed would eventually possess those gates. All right, so I think this is important with what we're talking about because they were possessing these gates. And so let's chit chat about that for a few seconds. All right, so the internal chamber of the pyramid, it defines a path from seed to birth to life and to hidden potency. All right, so most megalithics are aligned with Orion or Draco, the serpent. All right, let's take a look. So here is Orion constellation. Remember, that was the man. And then out of this was Eratnus, which was the, I guess you can look at it both ways, as the river of life, or either the, or pretty much the, what is it? The hell, right? The wrath. Remember, I told you guys, when you're looking at prophecy in terms of stars and numbers, it's in duality and they have several meanings, okay? So here's Orion, there's Sirius, and here's Eratnus, right? So in Revelations 22:1, it says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life. What did I say, guys? Water of life. And then when you go back here, you see that this chamber, right, defined the path from seed to birth to life and to hidden potency, right? Okay. So, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and the Lamb. So here Orion represents what? The Most High, and it represents Yeshaya. And here's a river of life, also the wrath, the lake of fire. Okay? All right. So these structures here align with Orion. This is in China. This is it from above, like a Google glance at it. And then you have the Giza. This is in Egypt. Then you have the one in Mexico, this temple. And then here's the Orion belt. Remember? Now, remember the belt is three stars there, and they're called like the three kings. You guys tell me what you think the three kings means. And you know, we've been seeing three a lot lately, right? We've been seeing three a lot lately. Have you tied it into this belt in Orion? Right? You remember when Yeshua was born, they sent the three magi's, or they call them the three wise men. Did anybody put a connection between that? All right, I can only lead you to the well, guys, but you have to dip. All right, so here, these are all aligned with Orion, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3. And they're all on the same ley line, right? We talked about the ley lines. And also you have Draco, the serpent, Baal, and you see like the temple of Angkor. Like if you look at some of these temples, they look, you know, a lot of them were into like dragon worship. And a lot of them, they set up their buildings to look like the dragon. And see, you look at this, it's like a snake. And some of those mounds and stuff that you see is in a serpent type of structure. I would go a little deeper with this serpent because, you know, we always, when you hear about serpent, you always go straight for the fallen angels. And I think a lot of people forget about the seraphim angels, right? But that's for another conversation. So here we have temples to Baal. So if you look at some of those temples that we were talking about here, like these, like in the pyramids, they have like you know that they did like sacrifices, right? They did, you know, they sacrificed people, right? And so all of the temples of Baal, they're on a line. And you can see what they run through, right? Remember, they did a lot of sacrifices. And these are all on our power lines. And you know, see, the whole earth is just mourning for the sons of God to take their rightful place because these people or these fallen ones that's ruling, right? They they don't treat the earth right. They don't treat the earth with respect or the animals. We're all intertwined. They don't even treat the Most High's people right. And the earth is groaning and moaning, right? Remember I showed you the picture with like after the flood, how it was broken in pieces. Like it, like to me, it looked like the Most High's broken heart. You know. All right. So let's look at they. If you guys go and research, there's some temples in here in our United States that are on these ley lines. And I'm not going to put it up because they're already watching the channel. You guys can go do your research and look at them. There's one in Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, and Boston, right? And they're all on these ley lines. And what are they affiliated with? Baal worship. These are like literally called the Baal Belt ley line temples, right? So here are some events that happened on those same ley lines. You have the Boston bombing, right? Remember this? In Mexico, the that temple there. Then you had the World Trade Center, Sandy Hook, in Damascus, Syria, Stonehenge. This is really interesting. It says Syrian false flag attack directly on the Teotihuacan line. I probably said that name wrong, guys. You know, in Isaiah 58, it outlines the fast that is acceptable to the Most High, starting from verse 5. And it also talks about bands of wickedness. This would be considered like, bonds of wickedness, right? You guys read that when you get a chance. Isaiah 58. The first part, verse 1 through 4 talks about the fast that is not acceptable to the Most High. And then you read from 5 on, it talks about the fast that is acceptable to him, right? And it tells you what he will do if you follow that outline. You give to the needy, take in people and give them home, somewhere to live. But we can't do that now because of the times that we're living in. But you do what you can to help. And the Most High tells you what he will do. That is the fast that is acceptable to the Most High, to loose the bands of wickedness. These are like bands of wickedness. Remember, I showed you Cetus that was strapped to the northern and southern tribes. And the Most High is literally changing everything through nature to free us and people who are coming along with us. So I ran across this article, and I know you guys saw this. This is just really pathetic. I'm sorry. This is so desperate. They're pressed for time now because, see, you got too many people waking up. And the more we wake up and start decoding, doing the gematria, looking at the ley lines and all that stuff, that rushes their time because, see, they can't hide anymore. And that's been their biggest advantage, is that they were able to hide. And you guys, I'm talking about the fallen ones. Gematria is a language of angels. And now when we're able to decode it now, our genes have been coded, guys. And we're remembering. Things are coming back. The music, the Most High has us on a frequency. We hear the war drums. So this woman here, vaccine developed by a Black woman. And to me, it's like insulting our intelligence to put people who look like us up and think that, okay, hey, you put someone up that look like us, we all just gonna read out the same book of stupid now still. Come on. I mean, remember in that last video I did, which was when I talked about 53 and people injured? Yeah. A lot of people, I'm sad to say, they're going to follow this, jump on this because of her. Facts about Jezebel. She worshiped Baal. You can read the story. She worshiped Baal. She influenced her husband to worship Baal. She instituted Baal worship among the children of Israel. She massacred the prophets. She was a murderer. This is actually Jezebel. So when you hear people say Jezebel this, Jezebel that, redirect them to what Jezebel did. She worshiped Baal. She influenced her husband to worship Baal, so she wasn't following the Most High. She instituted Baal worship among her people. She didn't protect them. And she massacred the prophets. She was a murderer. This was Jezebel. Genesis 22:17. That in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. Anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by the channel. I can't wait to hear your comments down below. Thank you all for your support, and shalom.